So raise your dongers, it's time for Team Battle Heimerdinger. And this is an old one. Which one? You know that you're gonna see a scene here that I uploaded a little while ago, but then people are still gonna go, I think I've seen it in some other person's channel, or some crap like that. But no, I haven't uploaded the game, and I only uploaded a clip, but here it is. Jungle Heimerdinger. And the first thing you'll notice is that, you know, both team comps kinda suck ass. We have, I believe... yeah, my team comp is a little bit, you know, explodey, as in we're gonna try to kill someone real fast, but we're kind of like everywhere. We have the pushing with Singed, we have the team fighting with Diana, we've got the sieging with like Cyrus. It's like we're not exactly all there. Either way, the enemy team is also pretty high level, so they're not gonna be easy. First things first is I should just mention what I do with Jungle Heimerdinger. I don't quite remember what runes and masters I took, but they did require quite a bit of AP. New Jungle Heimerdinger is actually like worse than the old one. Like it's hard to say. Like clearing wise, the old one was better, mostly because its turrets were a lot stronger. And I know the little charge up blast was cool, and the grenade was a billion times better early on. Though that's kind of like iffy. I think it's just a Jungle Heimerdinger jungled with starting with grenade usually. Or if he was going to get a good leash, he'll start off with the Q and sort of try to do a leash trick, whatever. A Jungle Heimerdinger would use his E to clear, stun things, and then put down his Q and whatever. And his rockets wouldn't be so weird and haphazard and hard to use. But nonetheless, the new Jungle Heimerdinger isn't significantly worse, and he still kind of has the same strengths as before. And in fact, he's probably better. Like the old Heimerdinger, yeah, his turrets can be used in a lot of multitude of ways, but I mean, now you could just, you know, poop them out and leave them there or whatever. The new Jungle Heimerdinger is a bit better at doing the whole sieging the tower push. I mean, my top laner is DC, so he's pretty much out of the game for right now. Well, now he's back. What I had hoped to do is hope for Singe to do the whole proxy crap, and you know push the lane and whatever. And as Singe distracted Cho'Gath, I would just siege the top tower. That was our strategy. I said, me and my friend were like, "Yo, you know what? We're gonna push down top tower." He DC'd unfortunately, so that didn't work out. So now we kind of have to haphazard build it. And I'm sure you're wondering again runes and masters, but I don't quite remember. I think it was ability power Quince, ability power blues, armor yellow, attack speed red, and I believe 2190 masteries. There I flashed forward and didn't accomplish much. But whatever. There's one thing though I do like is his late game is a lot cooler now. I mean, it's still not the most strongest, but it like being able to just do shit out a gigantic ass turret and annihilating people, that's real cool. So you can see Spirit of the Spectral Wraith. I'm building basically AP Amumu, and the enemy team is kind of outplaying us in a lot of factors. But as you can see, we're pretty much nearly equal. Though they just essentially got themselves a lead right there with the blue turret, death. Jungle Heimerdinger, is he actually viable? It's an interesting question, honestly, because there's certain things he can do that are really fun to exploit, but it's really hard to even say what kind of matchups he'd work at as a jungle. I mean, in a lane, he just kind of has to worry about his lane again, but in the jungle, he's got to worry about everybody else. And his ganking is not that great. He's pretty fragile, and his damage is negligible early because you don't really have the AP to back it up, and the cooldowns aren't there. And he's got all these little problems, but he's good at sieging. And sort of like Jungle Soraka being one kind of weird gimmick ambulance jungle thing, Heimerdinger is kind of like the wave relief. Like, oh shit, the guy is like, you know, harassing you or whatever. Shut down some towers, just put down some towers, help your guy out, and there's no way, not even in a 2v2, they can dive you, because they'll just get destroyed with the turrets. And the other thing is, you could just pop in and, you know, like, control how the lane goes, or push down a tower. If anybody in the enemy team goes home, and they don't have a teleport of any kind, you will take a tower out. That's what I was hoping to do, and that's what old Heimerdinger could do really well, and it's pretty much what he could still do. Yeah, but those Singed DC, so we kind of couldn't do that. Basically, as Heimerdinger, you get in between the enemy and your teammate, and you put towers between him and his tower. So either he has to run through your tower, and through you to their tower, and get pretty much barraged, or find some way to go around. This is ridiculously dangerous, as if you get counter ganked, you will be murdered because you'll be in between two people, and your turrets won't do anything to help your fragile ass out. So. Well, the whole idea is the enemy player is forced to go through your turrets, take a bunch of damage, and then be forced to defend against it. Like, he's already took a lot of damage from that little, cascade of doom and science that they will probably not be in good enough health to defend the turret, and you'll probably just take it down. The other thing is that jungler Heimerdinger, in the spectrum of, is he a control jungler, ganking jungler, or farming jungler, he's kind of an odd one. He's a counter ganker sort of thing, in a way that he doesn't exactly show up to counter gank somebody or control the map or anything. It's in which you can force the enemy teammates to actually help out whatever lone tower he's trying to push. Think of it this way. As Heimerdinger, you get blue buff, you get some mana regeneration thing. I know I'm smacking my lips a lot, but just kind of ignore it. You get those kinds of mana regeneration thing and some AP, so you do a lot of damage to the turret, to the towers, and your turrets are really helpful at clearing whatever. So you do that sort, you go to a lane, and you just, push it, you barrage it, your teammate helps pushing it too. If nobody comes to help that tower, it will go down. If somebody else comes to help it, there's a good chance, especially if they have a good wave clear like Ziggs or Gragas, that they'll be able to hold that lane. But that means the enemy is forced to, have two people in one lane to defend it. Meaning some strong mid-roaming ganker that you can have, or some support that can roam, can fill the niche of the whole ganking problem you might have with the fact that you pick jungle Heimerdinger. Though to add to that though is a lot of junglers aren't good at holding off pushing off somebody who's that strong at pushing towers. Which junglers can push off a tower? Gragas is one, but you won't always see jungle Gragas. What's his face? It's called Fiddlesticks, sort of. I mean, his Dark Wind can prevent you from pushing and whatever for a little while, but that's about it. I can't really think of many that are strong. Cho'Gath can be considered one, but you are not going to see a jungle Cho'Gath. Oh yeah, they flash, it just kind of pretty much gangbang me. So there's very few junglers that can hold off a push, and even in a 2v2. So with that in mind, jungle Heimerdinger can show up and start pushing a tower, and either the enemy jungler tries to stop it, which in turn forces him to not be able to gank or control the map at all, which is basically counter-ganking them or counter-jungling them, and or the mid lane is forced to go help top lane and the jungle hold mid lane or whatever. It'll force the enemy team to respond to Heimerdinger. Though, of course, if the enemy team has a champion that can hold off a 2v1 really successfully well, like they just can't, like a 2v1 is just like, lol, what are you trying to do to me? Again, Ziggs probably with, some fun kind of mana regeneration of some sort. Then Heimerdinger is pretty much a waste of a pick at that point. But as I was saying, it's all in good fun, and that part right there is kind of sad. Zyre just immediately dies. So as you can see, the game is pretty fucking grim for my team. It's like, there's really not much we were doing because the DC hurt us and the early shenanigans hurt us. And so we kind of have to make a comeback here. Though, of course, you see, this has only been 50% of the game. And there's still half the game left to go. Not much you can talk about Heimerdinger anymore. It's like, I love Heimerdinger. Everybody knows he's one of my favorite mages just because of how silly and funny he is, and how a lot of players seem to underestimate what he can do. It's like, they jump you and then like, ah ha ha, my turret is just sodomizing you. Though it's also very frustrating to deal with a jungle, well, not a jungle Heimerdinger, just a Heimerdinger in general. It's like your teammates don't know how to approach him, and they get just gang blasted, and you're like, how am I supposed to gank for you if you can't handle Heimerdinger or help me even approach it? I've had, my teammates fight against top lane Heimerdinger, mid Heimerdinger or something, and it's like, the way you position themselves against your turrets, or the fact that you're going face first into turrets while they still have a bunch of minions, it just shows you're gonna die before you get to do anything. or the fact that, you know, some players pick melee champions against Heimerdinger, and I don't mean like Yasuo, because I think Yasuo will crush Heimer. They pick someone like Diana, or hell, God help them, Garen against a Heimerdinger. It's like, you're just asking to be, you know, destroyed and ass blasted by the turrets. So, you see, 28 of 40. The Kazakhs DC2 and then reconnected, or Singed it too. The game sucks right now. It's just well DCs. So the enemy, you see, the enemy Stone on the Vayne came in trying to steal the red buff, and of course I kept my ultimate just ready for the grenade. I've seen a lot of people not do with Heimerdinger is they don't use the ultimate grenade. Yeah, the ultimate missiles deals a lot of damage. The ultimate cannon does a lot of damage, but grenade is a really like strong form of crowd control. Like in a counter initiation, or in some cases initiation, though in most cases it's a follow-up initiation. Like you see Malphite initiate in. If you know you can't throw in a grenade, one grenade that will hit them all, throw an ultimate grenade, keep them all in place, and then the rest of your teammates can collapse and destroy them. Of course, I know the missiles will do a lot of damage, and the giant cannon thing would do a lot too. But the nerf to the cannon made it a lot weaker to just, you know, use it for burst. So it's kind of a lot cooler just to use it in the grenade. You've seen me probably already in this game use a grenade a lot, and to great effect in some cases. In that case, though, that was not a great effect. That was just a desperate attempt to catch, because the game is actually getting very frustrating. It's like we just can't get that lead. We're trying very hard. It's like I wanted this game to be very fun, because with Heimerdinger, you know, whatever. Either way, here Cho'Gath takes my, you know, pink ward, and I'm like, fuck that Cho'Gath, and I'm trying to, you know, I'm trying to set up a little wall here to deter them from going all in. And of course, you see the Cho'Gath gets himself flipped over, and he's a goner. He couldn't take anybody else out. But as you can see, we can make a comeback. We may be behind, but we got the weird ass champions that can win victories by some pure notion of bullshit. So here, Zyra dies to go after Vayne, and then Yasuo comes at me, and my thing won't keep me alive, and the Diana tries very desperately to kill the Vayne. She does, but I die, and then Yasuo goes to town on everybody else and pretty much slaughters them. So the enemy Yasuo is a massive beast that we might not be able to kill because he blocks a lot of our damage. Our only hope against him is probably the Lucian, but Lucian will probably get killed quickly. So again, Zyra and Lucian, they've got to take down the Yasuo wall. I got to take down their whole front line. I'm their best bet against the front line, and hopefully CC in the background. See, we only have one Nexus Tower, and it's basically hanging on by a thread. Here, I plant a pink ward, and I know Cho'Gath's going to want to go for it. So I stick around and stay. I throw a grenade, throw everything I can at him, and he pretty much gets killed. And Lucian comes in. Good time. It was a bait. I knew somebody would want to take it. I knew there was still a ward there. Well, I knew they had vision of it, so that, you know, the pink ward. Anyways. Kazakhs ends up dying just by a little bit. We end up... no, the Sona gets away. So you can see we take 2 kills there basically for free without losing any of our own. It's a very tight game. The enemy team has a 7,000 gold advantage. Here... it's just really sad. We fucking get annihilated by the Yasuo. That Yasuo's really good with his Qs. 22, 8, and 11 Yasuo. You know, it is a normal game, but these opponents are strong. So... anyone who says that the quality of normal games can be questioned, I mean, it's generally low. It probably doesn't play that many. The enemy team gets the 3rd Baron of the game, and we're forced again to defend. We're just hoping we get a good pick. If we can kill Yasuo, and we can control the Kazakhs, the rest should sort of fall. Though the Vayne, of course, is another big problem. Vayne is Diana's job to kill. My job is to control the Kazakhs and the Cho'Gath. Lucian and Zyra's job is to kill the Yasuo. So if I'm here, I'm just putting as many wards as I can just to try to deter them and try to stop them. Here I flash away, use my ultimate thing, and throw a grenade back in and control both the Kazakhs and the Cho'Gath. They're stunned. Well, meanwhile, Singed is just trying to spread his piss all over, and they managed to kill the Yasuo and the rest of the enemy team. We can't actually finish them off because if we go in face first, we'll just get, you know, bomb blasted. Kazakhs jumps in. We can't actually pick him off, though Singed is trying his very best. And yeah, Kazakhs died. The rest survived. We get 2 wins. Here goes the ghost from the Singed, but he just can't seem to catch the Vayne. She too fast, yo. So 2 kills out of all that, and it was a fucking chaos. Fortunately for us, our inhibitor, I mean our Nexus turret, is still up. So we're not completely, you know, in a bad straits. So right now we're sieging. Well, I mean we're being sieged. We got about 2 minutes left in this game, so I know. Stay, stay with me. Someone was like, these team battles are getting low. No, I mean, very short. It's not short. It's just I haven't uploaded the big ones for good reason, because they take a lot of time to, you know, just commentate. Holy shit, this one's long. This was actually a pretty epic game, and unfortunately, we're kind of just getting, you know, we get roller coastered in this one. All right, so. Diana, I mean, Cinch gets killed. We catch Yasuo and he gets killed. The grenade, and it managed to catch him off, and he ended up died. Virgin Ripper got destroyed. Kha'Zix gets picked off. Diana and I kill the Vayne, and then the only one remaining is the Cho'Gath and the Sona. They cannot defend the towers, so we make a mad dash to the enemy base. We tank the turrets. We just go for the inhibitor. Sona gets too close and gets destroyed. Well, almost gets destroyed, and then she eventually just dies anyways. I put the cannon down on the Cho'Gath. I probably should have waited to use it for the turret. So we take out the Nexus turret, and we take out the next Nexus turret. The enemy respawns is way too long, so with that, we basically secured a win. It was a hard, drawn-out fight, and we never had the advantage throughout the game, but damn. Raise your fucking dongers, shake them, and bake them, or whatever. Hooray for Heimerdinger.